Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It's a B-26G Marauder in 48 scale, so you can see the kit number is 48323, and it's the American and French bomber, so I guess it kinda hints on the marking options which will be included here, and we have a really nice one on the box art. Well, the box art itself is also quite good, and what I have here on the table is the final shape of this release. It means you will be able to get it from Dailymax, for example, which should be already available there. And the box size is rather large, but this is a 148 scale twin engine aircraft, so that's why here you can see comparison with my hand. Again, box art, I really like it. It would be a cool poster to place on the wall. Here we also have some information about the kit. Unfortunately, no history notes anymore. I wonder why they stopped publishing it. But as you can see, there are 380 parts, and we have the wingspan of 453 millimeters. And if I flip over the box, here we have the three marking options which are included. So as you can see, they are quite colorful, and you definitely have a hard time choosing which one you would like to replicate. So now I just need to cut through the plastic tape, and in the meantime I can remind you that you can support me with a small tip. All of the donations are handy, and they help me to develop this channel, to maintain all of the equipment. And of course you can do it with help of the YouTube channel membership, or maybe with a donate button, large big button on the website. So it's done via PayPal, so it's quick and easy to do. And now I just need to open this box. I will do it off the table, because it's a bit of a tight fitment when you try to remove this large top lid, which is flexible. And well, it's usually used only for the let's say nice design, because it's color printed. And inside we have several plastic bags. So here is the first one. It's a resealable plastic bag, so it should be relatively easy and quick to open. Just give me a second to do this, and we will start reviewing all of the things. I can already hear the plastic parts, I don't know why. But we're gonna start with the Sprue C, and here you can see the wing parts. And overall design is rather typical or standard for this thing in the aircraft kit. It means that each wing should be assembled out of two hulls. I think in this kit we also had the separate wing mechanization. We also have the separate engine gondolas, this is quite obvious. And here we have also the tail wing, we have the separate elevators, we have also some cockpit parts here, and also some bulkheads here. I guess it's worth zooming in and showing these parts closer. As for the wing parts, you can notice that we have nice recessed panel lines. Pitot tube is pre-molded, so be careful with this, it's quite thin. And here you can see the already mentioned the four panels. If we flip over the parts, the most interesting thing here is this area for the wheel wells. We also have some guiding pins, and the same applies to the lower section. But overall design is quite smart. The only thing is that these parts are very big, and that's why it might be worth thinking how to make them even more sturdy, because otherwise you might end up with a drooped wing placement. Next we continue here with more parts for this aircraft. This is the middle bulkhead. As you can see, it provides these large parts which should be holding the wings, but in my opinion this is not enough. It's better just to use the metal rod to insert it in between and have a better alignment of the wings. We also have some cockpit panels, and these parts look new to me, so I guess that's why they were packed into the separate plastic bag. As you can see, some parts are completely different from what we saw in the previous aircraft kit of this type, from the same brand obviously. But pre-molded details look fine, so it's also a good material for some additional detailing. And that's already the question to you, whether you would like to go this way, because obviously the aftermarket sets will require some extra investment. And next we continue with another pair of the wing parts and also some engine gondolas. So again, nice surface details. As for the engine gondolas, I can flip them over and you will see these nice surface details, or it's more of a interior details, but as you can see, they deserve a nice washing done or applied here, so that you will be able to accentuate the details and they will not be lost. Maybe it's also a good idea to open somehow one of them. I saw some Marauders actually cutting through the panel lines, but this is already on your own risk. And please consider that you might end up with a broken part, and obviously this is not something what will be replaced by manufacturer, so definitely be careful with such activities. Next, I'm opening the plastic bag with the clear parts, so just give me a second. Because here we have the new canopy parts for this particular version, and you can notice the molding quality is really great, and I hope that the masking templates are included here, because this aircraft is literally crazy in amount of the clear areas on the fuselage, and it might be a bit of a small nightmare trying to mask everything and get the nice paintwork. I mean, it's doable, but it will eat your time, and then I don't know what you will be doing. Next, we continue here with the, I guess that's the nose section, and what is cool is that it is molded as a single piece part, so you won't have any gaps or seams. And again, the masking, and again the masking. Next, we have one more plastic bag with more sprues, obviously. So it's one bag, but there are many sprues inside, and I'll just open it right now. I think it's a positive change that they decided to pack at least like in 2 bags, because before it was very tight packaging and it was damaging the parts. Now we have a bit more space in terms of the pressure on the plastic sprues. So here you have the 2 large fuselage halves, nice recessed panel lines, but they're not too deep, so try not to lose them under the coat of paint and primer. And here you can see the length in comparison with my hand. As for the surface details, I guess we can zoom in and you can see these panel lines. If we flip it over, there are some minor features in the cockpit area. These are mostly the guiding elements, which will help you to place the separately molded cockpit parts. By the way, the tail area is also detailed, surprisingly. And next, we continue with the parts for the interior, but here we have quite an interesting placement. Okay, I succeeded with removing the sprue which was entangled with other parts, but as you can see here we have some of the fuselage parts, we have also some of the bulkheads, and I'm not sure if those 2 will be actually used. I think it should be the previous ones, but we will check it in the assembly manual. And again, you can notice that the pre-molded details, they look rather nice. So here I don't have any complaints whatsoever. Next, we have the pair of identical plastic sprues. This is the Sprue D, so I will show you only one, and it's not hard to guess if it comes in a double. It means that here we get the landing gear parts and also the engines, because it's a double or twin engine aircraft. So that's why we get the 2 sets of them, but it's really generous of ICM to actually provide the nicely detailed engines in the standard package, and I think it might be worth making one of those coatings removable, so not to glue it into the place. This way you will be able to show what is actually inside, to show the engine, and it will not be a shame to properly paint it and weather it so that later it can be displayed on the finished model. Next, we continue with the interior parts. These come on the smaller plastic sprue, and these are noticeably smaller or more tender, I would say. So here you can take a look. And again, be careful with them, try not to lose them, because obviously there are no spare parts included into this kit. And next, there is a nice change, I would say, in the ICM packaging, that we get also the foam in between the parts. So this is really cool in order to protect the parts, and it's always handy in our hobby as well, so do not throw it away. It's sometimes useful also to fill in the cockpits, maybe also to do some damage replication, because you just damp it or dab it into the paint and then dab it onto the edges of the panels. Here we have the last gray plastic sprue, landing gear legs, another landing gear leg here. And also we have some wing mechanization parts. Here we have some cockpit elements, and everything looks as good as the previous things, so there is nothing to complain about. And next we have really big decal sheet, so I will show it in a second. First I need to remove this plastic sprue off the table. And as for the decal sheet, here it is. As you can see, it's quite big, but we get all of the necessary symbols on one, and the only thing required from you is the careful application of those decals, because it might be a bit tedious to apply large symbols. We all know this, so do not hurry, take your time, and you'll have a nice result. Also worth mentioning that there are no seat belts. So for the seat belts, you have to go for aftermarket, of course, or try to replicate them with the masks. Masking tape, obviously. So here we have the assembly manual, large color printed brochure. We have the short history note here on the first page. Next, we continue with the parts map. By the way, note the small brochure about the ICM paints. I was mentioning them already because this is a really cool thing to use. They do the special packages which are useful for this or that subject. So that's why you actually get one box and you have all of the necessary paint shades. Red color here obviously means that these parts will not be used. And I think I skipped several pages, so I just need to flip one back. So we start by drilling the fuselage. Be ready for this. At least we have the drill bit size specified here, so just pay attention to where they should be drilled, because it will be important for placement of the parts outside and inside. A lot of stuff is going inside, and it might be a question how to show all of these things, because obviously once you close the fuselage house together, it will be just not visible on the finished model. Now I'm trying to catch another page as usual. So here we continue with the machine gun turret, and also more drilling on the opposite fuselage half. Here we also install some of the clear parts. Do not forget about the metal weight, it's quite hefty, 90 grams. Otherwise you will get the tail seater, obviously. Next we continue with the tail surfaces. And here we have also some of the fuselage panels getting installed into the bomb area. And you can open or close the bomb areas. Here you can see these two options. Next we continue with the nose section. And also here you can see the wing assembly. So as I was saying, the mechanization is separate, the flaps and the ailerons. And then you start building the engine. As you remember, you have to repeat it twice. And here we continue with engine gondolas, again twice. And then you install them onto the wing. You can also install the special landing ladder. Then we continue with more parts being installed on the landing gear doors. Landing gear legs being assembled, and landing gear wheels. As for the wheels, I recommend to check some 3D printed option, because they are quite big on this aircraft, so upgrade will be noticeable. We have the masking template, so this is definitely a huge bonus because of the amount of the clear parts to deal with here. And first pair of the marking options from 1944, one green aircraft, one silver aircraft, and another one which was on the side of the box. This one was on the box art. I was going to say that this one was on the box art. Somehow the silver aircraft just was etched onto my brain, but we have this one, the green one. So as for the kit, this is definitely not a beginner's delight, so do not fool yourself if you don't have an experience enough to build such a huge thing. Do not try it before getting the necessary experience. But from the other side, if you have the experience, if you build several big projects, then definitely go for it, because it might be a fun thing to build and it will take plenty of space in your garage or shelf. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.